guess I should tell you what benediction is. Benediction is when they have Mass, they consecrate the bread and wine to the body and blood of Christ, and they believe that that's the body and blood of Christ, or Yeshua. That when you receive that, you're receiving that, and that's real. Okay, so what they do is they put that in something called a monstrance, which is a display, and it's usually made of like gold or silver or something like that, silver with gold on it, and it's prominent, and they set that on the altar, and there's a certain songs that they sing or say, prayers, and it takes about 15 minutes to do, and basically, you are seeing God. You're getting the Dashcam of God, or the vision of God. You're looking at God, and so you're supposed to have the mindset, okay, this is God. You're not supposed to be looking at your phone. This is only going to be out for so long. He has to get it out of the tabernacle, the host. It's usually a big host. And he puts it in a container that has a glass on it or something, and then he puts it into the monstrance, and he wears a special cape for this, and he puts it in this monstrance and puts it up on the altar in a prominent place. And there's 29. Okay, we're at 129.3. And then you do these benediction prayers, and then of course the priest blesses you with the monstrance, picks up the monstrance and blesses you. The congregation, or whatever, whoever's in the chapel, and then he sets it back down, and then you have a song or something like that, and then he puts it back away, unless you're going to have Eucharistic adoration. If you're going to have Eucharistic adoration, then he leaves it. It's left out. And there has to always be somebody with that. That is not supposed to be left alone. The Holy Eucharist, if it's in display like this, in the monstrance, there's always supposed to be somebody observing it. Or him, if you want to say that pronoun. And so you should never leave what you have to do is you have to sign up on a thing. Okay, I'm going to take this hour, and then somebody else will take the next hour. Somebody will take the next hour. They do have these overnight. And so they have to have people signed up so that there's always somebody in there with the host. And then when it's time for them to leave, somebody else comes and takes their place. And it's good to have two people in there, so that there's no risk of somebody leaving or having to leave or anything. But it's sort of a darshan. Okay. So, okay. We gotta really watch where we're going, or we'll end up in the wrong road. But they have a similar thing, but it's not the same in Hinduism, where they believe a similar thing with the idols, which idols is really not a good word to use. For the better word to use for idol, I'm going to have to use an Indian word, is murti. Murti, M-U-R-T-I. And that's probably what I should call it. Idols is kind of a slur, in a way. It's quite a slur, but it's not positive. The murti, when the murti is installed in the temple, it has a similar character to it as the host. Now, I'm not saying it's the same, but there's a comparison there. And so there has to be a special respect given to that statue now. When you go to see that statue, now that it's had this special blessing, That's why you're not supposed to turn your back, just like you should never turn your back to the Blessed Sacrament. And that you should always genuflect in front of the sacrament. Even, you should always show proper respect. Even if you're not Catholic, you should show respect to it. Either that or you shouldn't be in there. You shouldn't be going in there. If you're not going to show the respect for it, don't go in. And that goes for the Hindu temple too. If you're not going to show respect for the Murti, which there's going to be more than one in some cases, don't go in. And if you're not going to show respect for the Blessed Sacrament, or if you don't quite understand it, or you don't believe in it, don't go in. If it's exposed, if it's on display, don't go in. Don't go in there and take a picture of it either. And you're not supposed to go into a Hindu temple and take pictures, and you shouldn't go into a church and take a picture of the monstrance. It's disrespectful. Unless you have a reason to do it, it would be disrespectful. Okay, here's where we go on to the U.S. part of the road. So we're at 134.3, but the Murtis have a character like this, and these are installed in a temple by a priest. Just like the Holy Communion, you have to be a priest in order to do transubstantiation. A lay person can't do it. And so darshan now you understand what darshan is, because you're seeing the deity now. Now you can see the comparison between the two. And yeah, it may not be a perfect comparison, but this is only a thought. I'm not a theologian. So, there'd be someone that would say, no, you're completely wrong, or something like that. But that's my feeling on it. Let's just say that. I mean, that's what YouTube has a lot of opinions, and it's my educated opinion. But when you go into a temple or into the Blessed Sacrament, you're supposed to genuflect in the prescribed way that Catholics will teach you, but you're supposed to put your face to the floor with the Blessed Sacrament. And if you don't want to do that, don't go in. If you can't do it physically, then just genuflect the best you can. Just bow or something if you can't physically do it. But you're supposed to get down on the floor. And the Murti, you should show some kind of obviously you wouldn't genuflect like you do in a Catholic church. What you would do is you would go down on your knees, and you would do sort of the kind of same thing. I don't think that people should just do what everybody's doing, though. But you should show respect in your own way. Don't just copy what everybody else does in a Hindu temple. Now, in a Catholic church, it might be okay to copy what they're doing as long as they're doing what's right. You see everybody genuflecting, you should too. In a temple, if you see someone lay down on the floor, don't copy them. It's not appropriate to copy what they're doing there. But what you could do is you could go down on your knees and you could just bow down to the floor. You could do that. But think of it as God. Show your respect to God. When you go into the sanctuary, this is in the sanctuary of a mandir. A Hindu temple is called a mandir. Calling it a Hindu temple is kind of like it's not a real good, it's a translation that's often given because people don't know what the word mandir means. There isn't really a good translation. It's another one of those words like dupada.